Hey there, Sagittarius, Sun, Sagittarius, Moon, Sagittarius, Rising. Welcome to your full moon reading for the month of January. So on Friday, the 6th of January, we get a full moon in Cancer. It's happening at 6:08 p.m. Eastern Time Zone in the U.S. If you'd like to know, and you probably should, exactly what time it happens where you live, there is a chart calculator in the description box below. So this being in Cancer, Cancer being the nurturing sign of the zodiac, this is the mothering, the nurturing. This is the taking care of ourselves and taking care of others energy. But I think there's going to be a real focus for you to remember to take care of yourself as we go. Yeah, so you're really being called to pull your energy in and take care of yourself and self-love and self-esteem and self-worth and value yourself and give to yourself what you need this week. So this full moon is happening at 16 degrees and 22 minutes of Cancer. So that means it is opposing the sun at 16 degrees and 22 minutes of Capricorn. And it is conjunct Mercury. And Mercury, actually the exact conjunction between the sun and Mercury is not until Saturday, but it's so close. And Mercury is moving toward the sun, right? Because it's in retrograde, so it's moving backwards. And this energy here invites us to pay attention. We're going to have the sun and the moon both shining on Mercury. Mercury is the messenger. And Mercury is bringing forward some ideas, some information, something that needs to be revised, reworked, maybe a renewal of energy, maybe something that you have put aside and it needs to be brought back to the front burner and taken a look at again. It's going to go over the space. It's going to go over the space 3 times. And so it's really important that it's already been over once. This is the second time through this area in the last couple of weeks. And now, and then when it stations direct on the 18th, it's going to start moving forward and cross over this area again. So this is a very important part of your chart. And for a Sagittarius rising, this Mercury energy is in your house of self-worth, self-esteem, self-value, personal finance. That full moon is in your 8th house of transformation. And that's other people's money. And so there's something around the money, the sense of value and power that is somehow coming through. And I really want to encourage you to believe in your own power. Believe in your own power and take care of yourself. And so it could be that because it's in the energy of the mother and the father, that there may be a power issue between you and your parents. They may have passed on. That doesn't mean that power issue doesn't still get played out in other relationships, because until we heal something, it continues to come back to us, right? And so with Chiron in your house of creativity, the house of children, and that is calling us to heal, and Jupiter is going to really be helping you to do that because it's now there also in Aries. And so Jupiter rules your sign. This feels very much like it's family gathering of energies where you remember that you are of value and that you love and take care of yourself. Sometimes our parents are unable to do this, and so as adults we have to do it for ourselves to heal in order to release and let things go so that we can move forward. And so you have some really interesting cards that really talk about this. So the challenge for you with this is this card of self-love. Okay? And so the challenge is, are you giving enough to yourself? Sometimes we push everything aside because we just don't want to deal with it. You're such an optimistic sign, and if it doesn't seem happy and joyful, you're like, I don't even want to think about that. I want to think about the good stuff. It kind of reminds me of in Gone with the Wind, where she's like, well, I can't think about that right now. I'll think about that tomorrow. And she just focuses on what's right in front of her, and she tries to lift her spirits. And that is a good way to handle a lot of things. But I think this full moon is asking you to take a moment, to take a little bit of time this weekend coming up and consider what you need to heal you so that you feel loved. And so you have the call of the muse as the opportunity. And this is very creative energy. It's asking you to allow yourself to inspire yourself, to be inspired to do something that is fun and creative, and to do things that brings joy and happiness to you. Right? This is about your joy and your happiness. And so often you're out there sharing the love and inspiring others and bringing them the joy and happiness. And Spirit says, you know what? It's okay for you to give some of that to yourself, particularly when this nurturing energy is coming up this week. So it feels very important that you allow yourself to be inspired. I also want to say that then in this year, in this year that's coming up, we have to put a lot of work in. And so this healing energy feels very significant for Sagittarius this year. And the more that you're willing to really dive into and do this healing work, the more in alignment you're going to be with where it is you're headed toward. And because things are starting to really move in your direction in a number of ways. So allowing for that to happen. You have here for advice, movement and balance and letting go. And see, it's this yin and this yang, which kind of makes me think of the Cancer Capricorn axis there, the yin and the yang. They're looking in two different directions. I'm going to get into the book a little bit here. It is the, well, you know what? I want to, hold on, right here. It's called the Muse. It's 31. I just noticed that. So that's a 4. That feels important because this call of the Muse brings in stability for you. And so let's just take a quick peek at what Colette Baron Reed said. Seeing from a higher perspective, whoops, that's the wrong one, 31, sorry. Creative expression, being in the flow of creativity, tuning into inspiration, allowing creativity and being, without being self-conscious, and writing and journaling as a means of connection. Okay, that was why they wanted me to do this. All right, so if you are not journaling, there's a really good way to connect in with your higher self. And since it says creative, I think, journal with different colored pens, get some stickers and put them in the journal book, doodle, draw in there, whatever it is. When you're journaling, it doesn't always have to be about the words. It's an expression of yourself. And so if you had a really good day and you want to put in happy things, if you had a really bad day, you put the sad face on there and then you cover it in happy things to change your energy. I feel like that would be very helpful for you. All right, so let's get into this movement and balance card, which to me feels like your energy. It feels like temperance, right? We've got the day and the night. We've got the land and the water. We've got the wind. It feels like we've got all these elements working together with this full moon, right? The sun and the moon. And it says here, the sun balances the moon just as the earth and the water and the sky remain in precious balance. So you are moving from an unbalanced ideas and lifestyles into a more balanced way of being. I should have noticed she's up on her tippy toes. That takes a lot of balance to be a ballerina and do that. Also a lot of work. This year, work will be required. Okay, look at the energy and emotions you're putting into the universe, your world, and your relationships or your goals. Balance with that energy you are allowing yourself to receive. The body inherently tries to maintain a state of balance. So do our souls. If you're not receiving enough, you may be unconsciously giving more. To restore a perceived balanced state, step out of the automatic response and listen to your guides and your soul for what the situation truly warrants. And what the situation truly warrants is that you love yourself. Right? Now, if you are there are, some people who are very centered on themselves, and I guess an unbiased, fair assessment of yourself. Are you giving more in a relationship, or are you taking more? And do the rebalancing for yourself. That's important. And then we have here this 43, which is that number of 7, right? The Chariot. Letting go of a person or situation can be a challenge. This is the advice, though. At times when it's at stake, it's not just the relationship or the situation, it's the attachment we had for it, the hopes, the dreams, the expectations. So you find this a lot with relationships where it's really hard to let go of the person because we had so much hope for that situation. We poured so much into that because we really thought that person was the person, our person. That was the one we're going to ride or die with, right? And then, reality is a big cold splash of water. And sometimes they change, you change. Like, we should all be growing and everything. We don't necessarily grow in the same direction. And sometimes people put their best foot forward, and then once they get what the relationship, they become more of their authentic self, which is not necessarily what you saw, right? So it's about really paying attention to that. So many relationships end long past their natural ending point. One or both people hung on hoping things would change. They invested so much time because without that person, job, or relationship, the future loomed as one big blank screen. Don't be afraid of the change. A blank screen is a blank canvas. a blank canvas when you're being called on to create, to be the muse in your own life, to create, to be inspired, to create something new in your life. So whether this is a job, a friends group, a place, a town you're moving from, something that you're being called to release with this full moon, is to give you the blank space to create something new in your life, something that is truly of value, that is reflective of who you are, what your goals are, what your dreams are, and what it is you're trying to manifest. And so sometimes we think something looks really good when we first look at it, but upon further reflection, we recognize that it's probably not exactly what we want, and it's okay to say at that point, okay, yeah, no, this really doesn't work for me. This doesn't inspire me. I'm not inspired by this, and I want to be inspired in my life. So you have two cards here that came out for your crystals. You have the garnet, which is very grounded. I see focus on the task at hand and accomplish my goals with creativity and determination. Stop procrastinating, increase your self-motivation, maintain focus and determine end success. Stay grounded and focused, walk the path to creative success this year. When we know what the target is and we choose to take actions that are in alignment with that target, we will get there. Make sure that target is something that's inspiring and exciting to you, something that you can't wait to get up out of bed in the morning and take on. I'm excited to do the next step. It's not going to be easy. This year is not easy. This year has the potential to be highly rewarding, but I don't think it's going to be easy. We have the card of the fluorite. I am smart. I am open to learning something new. I am organized. Self-confidence. Believe in yourself. Clear thinking. Release mind chatter. Maintain courage and self-confidence. Recognize your own intelligence and ease with problem solving. Low self-esteem might be holding you back. Believe in yourself. The universe clearly does. All right? You guys take really good care. I will link here and in the description box below this week's video for your sign. If you haven't seen that yet, you might want to check that out. Every Sunday night at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time Zone, I do a premiere video. This week, we pulled cards for the Venus into Aquarius for each sign, so you might really want to check that out. And I'm on Facebook every day. I'm just looking to build community and to help us all grow together. So I'd love to see you either on Facebook or in the live chat on the premiere video, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time Zone in the U.S. You guys take good care. I'll talk to you soon.